Alrighty guys, for this video, I'm gonna talk about group investing 101. Now, a lot of people aren't very familiar with this method, but think stocks for real estate. With group investing, essentially what we do is we have very great operators and we link those operators up with more capital. That way the operators can work and do more and more deals. And then the passive investors can have a good, solid, steady return that's backed by a real asset. Now I wanna talk a little bit about how I got into this space and why I think it's very valuable. As long as I can remember, my dad's been, a real estate broker, and he's always been working on projects, on flips and investing. It was something that we were, a part of since we were little kids, whether it was going out and mowing the lawns or, being part of a gut job for a flip. And with time, I got to see the power of real estate. And I thought, hey, this vehicle is so cool. I want to learn about everything I can in regards to this vehicle, which is why I decided to become an agent. And then I said, okay, cool, this is good. This is all good. We know the transaction side. And I started making some of my own investments. And then I started to teach my clients, hey, here's how you invest. Here's how to buy the property. Here's how to go through all that. Here's my list of contacts. And we were able to help out a lot of people. But the hard part for me was that I was giving all this information out there. We do tons and tons of free content. I was willing to give people, all of my references, all my referrals, everything that I have and I've accumulated over time. I was willing to give that to whoever wanted it. But most people just didn't take action. The problem is, although I'm giving them all this information, you still have to actually learn it. You have to go through all the process. You have to manage the properties. You have to make sure that you're getting top dollar for rents. You wanna make sure you're working with the best lenders so you get the best terms, making sure that you get the best returns for your investment. So bottom line, there's actually a lot more work to become a real estate investor than a lot of people wanted to put in. They knew it was a good investment, but they didn't want to lose any of their money because of the lack of knowledge that they had. Add that to the fact that here in Utah, we've seen cap rate compression like almost nowhere else. What that means is our net operating income is typically low as compared to the same asset size. I'll give you a quick example. If we're looking at our 3% cap rates here in Utah, that means if you buy $1 million property, your income on that for the year is gonna be about $30,000. Take that same $1 million property at a 10 cap, and your income on that is gonna be $100,000 per year. Now I get it, Utah is a great market to invest in, and I've invested most of my capital here locally. But especially with the increasing interest rates, the investments just aren't making sense. We're entering a world where a lot of people are doing spec buying, where they're buying it based on, future perceived values, kind of like what you see in California. But I don't really like that for two reasons. One, you're probably having to float a little bit of that mortgage on a monthly basis. So you now have something that's, eating away from your active income to be able to supply it. I'd much rather have a property that's feeding me a little bit extra and adding to my active income. Two, it's very difficult to do group investments here. I wanted to make sure that I took a lot more folks on the ride with me, but the problem is we can't pay out good returns for the stuff that we buy here locally. There's just not enough juice in the squeeze. So with all that being said, that's why I got into group investing. We take people who are wanting to create a passive income through real estate and just have a place where they can put in their money and then not have to worry about it nearly as much. And then for our active operators who are absolutely awesome at what they do, we're able to make sure that they have enough capital to do more projects and make sure that investors are getting a better return. We really are creating a synergistic relationship. Now to do this, there's a lot of responsibility, so I'm extremely picky on the operators and the markets that we work with. We do a lot of due diligence with our operators to make sure that we're partnering up with the absolute best people possible. And then we do a lot of due diligence in the market. Even if the operator is good, the market has to be going in an upward direction. So we look at job growth, we look at job diversity. Where is that coming from? We look at birth rates. Hey, naturally, how much are they growing? Population growth. Where is their population coming from? Is it coming from other cities? Is it coming from other states? Is it coming from other countries? Or again, going back to the birth rate, is it just happening naturally? We look at the median income in the area and we take and compare that to the median house price and the median rents in that area. That way you can see, hey, is there a room for growth, or are they pretty capped out? Or they're gonna be super dependent on incomes going up to maintain that curve? Or what's that gonna look like in that area? And that's one of the biggest factors that really limits the amount of growth that can take place in areas like California and Utah. For example, one of the investments that we have right now is in Columbus, Ohio. The median income there is $100,000. The median income here in Utah County is $79,000. But our median purchase price is $590,000. Their median purchase price is $200,000. So obviously they have a little bit more room to grow than what we have. And again, I'll use Columbus as one of those examples. It's a market that I think has already existing good cash flow, but has good potential for appreciation. They have a $20 billion Micron facility that they're building out there, and that's going to continue to help grow the economy there locally. Now, I don't want to get too convoluted, but that's some of the due diligence that we look at when we start looking at different markets that make sense to invest in. So that's the homework that we do before we put any money into a group investment. Now you're probably wondering, how do I get involved, or what do the returns look like for me? And the answer of that is typically on a project by project basis. So we are taking down a 43 unit in Columbus, Ohio right now with Greenlight Equity Group. If you have any questions on how you can get involved there, reach out to us. I'll be happy to send you the details on the deal. And even if this deal isn't the right one for you, let's keep in touch, and that way we can keep you posted on any of the future projects that we have coming up. Thanks so much, and I hope you enjoyed this video.